we've got a two-time WWE champion joining us right now on the Goodyear Hotline. That is Drew McIntyre. Drew, good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. When you travel around, as athletes always do, there's certain markets, certain places you go where the fans are a certain way. Like he always talks about Philadelphia. And the fans there get on his case, get on the athlete's case all the time. They're tough fans in Philadelphia. As a lot of people will remind you, they once booed Santa Claus. So for you, in your travels as a professional wrestler, is there a market, is there a city that you go to and you're like, these people are tough here?
I put Philadelphia up there, along with places like New York. They're very educated about WWE. And if you're not giving them 100% or they don't quite believe in a character, they're going to very loudly make their opinion heard. But thankfully, they've always been very good to Drew McIntyre and always got behind me.
Yeah. Drew, beside the lack of crowds, what has been the biggest challenge, in this pandemic for wrestling?
The lack of crowd is absolutely the top of the list. Now, we're such an interactive product. For every other sport, it's been difficult not having the fans there, and you see the fans back at, baseball, football, etc. It's like, okay, awesome, we've got that atmosphere back. But for WWE, we are back and forth with that audience. They make such a difference to our shows, and there's nothing that comes close to losing our audience during that time that was so difficult. That's why to have them back this past month has been such a difference maker. And the fact that we're going to have over 40,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium for SummerSlam this weekend just blows my mind. And I'm so excited because it's been about a year and a half plus since we've had that many people in the same place.
So you mean to tell me you just ready to go? You all fired up now that the crowds are back?
Oh, I'm so fired up. As I say, this past month plus, having the fans there for our televised events or non-televised events, there was so much energy from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. I've been here in Vegas the past 2 days, just doing all the special events for the fans, working with some of our charitable organizations, did a thing with Special Olympics last night. Just been around everybody again and feeling that energy and that excitement for SummerSlam just means the world to me, and I know it's going to be so freaking loud. 40,000 WWE fans are going to sound like 150,000 fans on Saturday.
Drew McIntyre joining us right now on the Goodyear Hotline. SummerSlam on Saturday. Yes, fans in the building as well. And as you mentioned, like there is something about the adrenaline that is certainly added to it when you get the crowds and, of course, the raucous crowds that of course, wrestling does bring in. But it's going to be an interesting night for you because you're wrestling against a former tag team partner in Jinder Mahal. What should we expect from this? You guys have had some history together now going against them.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Jinder. He's somebody I've been friends with for over 10 plus years with very similar paths. And we got signed to WWE very young in our early 20s, got huge opportunities. Then everything slipped away and we both basically got our asses fired. And then we had to work our way back to the company and we worked extremely hard. Jinder became WWE champion first. Then I became two-time WWE champion. Now we have this big match on the biggest stage together. I feel so proud for Jinder, but at the same time, I feel bad for him because I'm going to have to beat him up and embarrass him and kick his head off and win this damn match.
So you're a Triple Crown champion, a Royal Rumble winner in the WWE. What else is there, what is there left?
Well, I want to get my WWE championship back because, we talked about not having fans there. It took me 20 years to become WWE champion. I beat Brock Lesnar in 5 minutes with no fans there. I regained my WWE championship in the Thunderdome against Randy Orton with virtual fans there. And even though I've been WWE champion for over 300 days, I've never been champion with fans present in the stands. So my goal now is to win back my title. So I've actually got fans in the crowd I can hold up that title in front of.
I got one for you, the top rope, though. That'll get it back. Get on the top rope and just dive off right onto that dude's head, and you'll get it back.
He's giving you strategy here, Drew, as if you need it, right?
That's a good strategy right there. I'm 6'5", 270 pounds. Generally, I'm better on the ground, just beating the crap out of my opponent. But if I get up on the top rope, jump off the top rope, and just punch my opponent in the face from the top rope, because I don't do anything athletic, I don't do flips. But if I come off the top rope with a punch to the face, it's going to be a hell of a punch.
Yeah, no kidding with all that size. But you mentioned it though, like to win it's a big deal to win, obviously, your first title, but to celebrate and then you're in an empty building when you're doing it. That was the whole bizarre thing about what was going on. We've seen it all across sports. You know, in the NBA bubble, like, you win a championship and it's like you're celebrating, but it doesn't feel real. So for you, this is an opportunity to have not just a celebration for yourself, but to have thousands of people also celebrating with you. When you watch it back, and I know they had the pumped in crowd noise for you, but is it harder to enjoy it like that first time around because it just didn't have that same feel with thousands of people in the crowd?
I mean, yes, I know. I had mixed feelings about it because obviously as a kid, I didn't imagine myself winning the WWE title in the main event of WrestleMania in front of nobody. But, you know, being in the nature of the times we were in, the fact that every other sport and entertainment company shut down and WWE were going to push ahead as the only original content, the only escape for people across the world. And WrestleMania was over 2 days. I was the very last match. I had a bit of a feel-good story going into it, and me winning the title could make a lot of people happy. Like, I knew winning it was a special moment, but then to see the feedback afterwards, the positivity during such a difficult time at the height of the pandemic, 14 million unique social media interactions over WrestleMania weekend, it was still a special moment for me, but I can't wait to get a chance to hold the title in front of live fans.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.